A few months ago I made a video looking at a few different Disney film theories and determining whether or not I think they're canon. Now, I could tell you that that video was super popular and people have been begging me for a follow-up, so I just had to make another. That would be a lie. The actual truth? I just enjoyed making it, and there are a lot more theories I want to look at. Or in other words, hey, this is my channel and I'll do what I want. Screw you! The Jurassic franchise is one of the most lucrative in Hollywood. It's now on its third era of films, and I don't know how hot a take this is, but I kind of think the franchise peaked with the first film, although there have been some really cool moments since then. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. In Jurassic Park, Alan Grant lectures a young boy on the dangers of velociraptors, and this theory states that that young boy is none other than Owen Grady. But can it be? Well, Owen was about 35 in the first Jurassic World film, which would put him around 12 years old when the events of Jurassic Park took place, so the timings match up. And when the two meet in Jurassic World Dominion, Owen seems a little quiet, a little shell-shocked. Could it simply be because he's a fan of Alan's? Or is it something deeper? Maybe he remembers the trauma of the last time he met him. Honestly, I think this is fairly believable. The timing matches up, and this is exactly what I imagine a young Owen Grady would be like. Also, this encounter with a famed paleontologist who lectures him on velociraptors would explain his obsession and bond with them as an adult. I'm saying this is true. Prince Hans was Anna's first love interest in Frozen, and he's often hailed as one of Disney's least effective twist villains, mostly due to the fact that his villainy was never hinted at or foreshadowed before the big reveal. But this theory suggests that he wasn't always evil. For a majority of the film, Hans seems like a good guy. He's kind, passionate, and seemed to have an immediate and deep bond with Anna, which made many people upset when the twist came. See, normally twist villains have some sort of hint that they're actually evil. Lotso lied about the true nature of the caterpillar room. Waternoose uses fear-mongering the very first time we meet him. Evelyn Dever's name is literally Evil Endeavour. But with Hans, nothing. Even when he's on his own, he still acts like a really sweet man. And if his plan was to kill Elsa so he could marry Anna and become king, why would he save Elsa's life? That's where this theory comes in. You remember the rock trolls, right? They really wanted Anna and Kristoff to get married. Well, the theory seems to mostly hinge on this line in the song Fixer Upper.
Get the fiancé out of the way and the whole thing will be fixed.
If you didn't catch that, the line was get the fiancé out of the way and the whole thing will be fixed. So, did the trolls do something to make Hans evil so Anna wouldn't marry him? Is that even something they can do? Well, we're not really given a clear indication of the powers of these trolls, but we do know that they can alter memories, meaning they have a certain influence over the brain. It's therefore reasonable to assume that they can affect a person's moral compass and intentions. With that in mind, this whole theory becomes a lot more plausible. We've seen that the trolls don't really care about what people want. They tried to force Anna and Kristoff to get married against their wills. They just seem to do what they know is best. And if they need to get Hans out of the picture to make this happen, maybe that's what they did. So for that reason, I'll say this theory is true. Before I get into this last theory, hi, I'm Bow Tie Guy, and I make lots of videos about movies. If that sounds like a bit of you, then make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Shrek is one of the most successful animated film franchises. It's set in the fictional kingdom of Far Far Away, where practically every character is a fairy tale or nursery rhyme character. There are only a handful of characters who aren't, one of whom is Donkey. Or maybe not. See, when we first meet Donkey, he's being turned into Lord Farquaad's men as part of his plot to arrest all the fairy tale creatures. So why was he there if he's not a fairy tale creature? Well, this theory suggests that he featured in none other than Pinocchio. I'm sure you remember, in Pinocchio, they visit Pleasure Island, where lots of children are turned into donkeys. This theory suggests that Donkey is in fact a wayward child. But is it true? Well, let's have a think. Both Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket exist in this universe, so it therefore stands to reason that the rest of the Pinocchio story also took place. Also, there aren't any other talking animals in this universe who aren't also anthropomorphized. And Donkey does act in a very human way considering he was supposedly born a donkey. But is that really enough evidence? The blind mice don't act like mice, Puss in Boots doesn't act like a cat. But perhaps the biggest piece of evidence against this theory comes in Shrek 2, with the Happily Ever After potion. The potion is supposed to transform the drinker and their true love into their most beautiful selves. For Shrek and Fiona, it turns them human. And surely if Donkey used to be human, it would turn him human too, right? But it turned him into a horse. So that's it then, right? Case closed. Well, the potion didn't say it transforms the drinker into their truest self, or their original self, their most beautiful self. Donkey, at the time, was a donkey, so the potion turned him into a horse. But I've kept perhaps the most convincing piece of evidence for last.
I'm already starting to feel nauseous from memories of wedgies and swirlies.
By how did you receive the wedgies when you are clearly not aware of the underpants?
Let's just say some things are better left unsaid and leave it at that.
Did you hear that? Did you see the shame on his face? Donkey has a dark past, and I think that past might just involve Pleasure Island. I think this is true. What are your thoughts? Do you think these theories are true, or am I just too gullible? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe. And, yeah, bye.